Hey everyone, welcome back. Just thought I'd do a quick little video on making tokens. Tokens are basically these little guys that you see on screen. They represent characters within the game. If someone has a character sheet, it's basically attached to one of these tokens, and there's a couple of different ways you can get tokens. First I'll show you is here in the Roll20 tool. It's called the art library. You can go in here, you can type in pretty much anything, and you'll get a whole bunch of stuff that you can use. So if we type in something super generic like a goblin, and take a look at the options that we get for that. A lot of the first options you see are the ones I've already entered, so I'm gonna scroll down past the ones I've entered to the generics. And yeah, so around here you start getting the goblins you normally get with Roll20. You can see they're pretty generic. You usually get about 4 or 5. I think there's a few more than this for goblin, but as you can see, they're usually top-down perspective. They're not super detailed. Nothing wrong with them. You could definitely use them. It won't be a big deal. But let's say you want something a little more specific, a little more interesting. I'll show you how you can make your own tokens without too much work. I'll have to do it pretty quickly. I'm just going to Google goblin, and I'm going to type in PNG because that's the file format for Roll20, and that saves a lot of work. So let's look at a couple of different goblins that we can use. So this guy's pretty nice, pretty detailed, and yeah, you can see he's in the PNG format. So if I want to, I can go in and I can just download him from this website, and the file will download into PNG, and we're still going to have to edit it for its format, for its dimensions, but the format is correct, so we'll have to do a little less work. So let's take a look at this guy over here. Again, really interesting, really detailed, and once again the background is cut out. The PNG format is what they use in Roll20, so perfect. So I'm going to leave this one, and I'm getting another image that is not in the PNG format, and I'm just going to show you what we can do for that in a couple of different systems. Okay, so let's go into our picture editor. I'm going to use two. I have Pinta here because I'm on Linux, but the techniques I'm going to show you work for every single image editing software. So if you're on Windows or a Mac or anything, it's all going to be the same. But just in case, I'm going to show GIMP as well. GIMP is great because it's available for every format. So no matter what, if you can't get something else to work, you can at least download GIMP and just use that. All right, so let's open up Pinta and let's get the file for the first one. Here's the first goblin that we got from Google, and as you can see, the background is chopped out, so he'll appear perfectly normal, but the dimensions aren't perfect. If something is not square in Roll20, it's going to be compressed. It's going to look weird. So what it'll be is, since this guy is a little bit taller than he is wide, his avatar is going to get stretched out wide, and he's going to look like a big fat goblin on the screen. So let's go into resize canvas, and we're just going to hit absolute size and maintain aspect ratio, and we're just going to make them both the same. And you can see that just squares out the screen, and now he's as tall as he is wide. We're going to file, save, and I'm just going to save it right back to where it was. All right, let's take a look at another one. This one is not in PNG, and you can see it's just a JPEG, and the white background is there. This one's a little more detailed than I wanted for the example, but let's just see how fast we can do this. We're going to go to the Magic Wand tool. There should be a similar Magic Wand tool in every image editing software, so you shouldn't have too much trouble finding that. And you just adjust the tolerance up here to what you want. Basically, I find 30 works really well in Pinta, but it's going to vary. And you want the tolerance to be high enough that it sort of creeps into the crevices and little nooks on this guy's avatar. If we go a little lower, you can see that it definitely, yeah, see how it leaves too much space? That's not good. We're gonna have a little ghosty halo around this guy. So I'm gonna take it up to 30. Honestly, I think you can go up to 40 without too much trouble. If you go too high, it will start to cut into the avatar. See when it starts. So you can see over here, it's starting to cut into the avatar. So I'm gonna take it back to 30. I'm just gonna hit the delete button, and I'm gonna take out all these white spaces. Like I said, this one was a little more detailed than I hadn't anticipated, but shouldn't take too much time to basically get him ready, and I think that should be it. So we're going to do the same thing we did before. We're going to resize canvas, absolute size, maintain aspect ratio. I'm just going to square him out so he's not going to get distorted. Now we're going to go to File, Save As. It's super easy. You're just going to go down here, and this will be the same in anything that you're doing. And you're going to save it as a PNG, and there you go. So now I'm just going to show what it looks like when we add these guys into Roll20. So we've got both of these guys. You can actually grab them both at the same time. And they're just going to be super giant when they first come into the system. You'll have to shrink them down, but it won't be too much work. Alright, they're both in. So you can just grab one on the corner and shrink him down to normal goblin size. Okay. There you go. Now I just want to call attention to this. If you take a look, here we have an elf character. Elves are about, normal size, between 5 and 6 feet tall. So about as big as an adult human. And these goblins, these guys are 3 feet to less than 3 feet tall. So you can see they actually look bigger even than the elf does. So I'm going to show you what you can do to edit their sizes of the tokens to make them comparable to what you might want them to look on the field. So let's go back into Pinta and go back to Image, and let's do Resize Canvas, and just make the canvas a little bit bigger. So I'm going to make it 150% bigger, and you can see now he's much smaller than he was. I'm probably going to go a little bit more than that, make it maybe 120% bigger than that, and that's perfect. So, and you can grab this tool over here, the moving tool, and you can move him to the bottom if you think that looks good, or to the top. I'm going to put him just right around here, and I'm going to do File, Save As. Let's save over the previous one, save. And I'm just going to load him back into Roll20 by dragging him onto the screen. There you go. I'm just going to grab this corner up here and shrink him down. You can actually just delete this and go back into your recent images if that's easier for you. Maybe I'll do that on the next one just to show how that's done. And as you can see now, he is just about perfectly sized for comparison to the elf that we have over here. And that's the fastest way to make up your own tokens. Now let's take a look at what we can do in GIMP. It's pretty much the same. Pull it up. This is GIMP. It's available for, I think, every single platform. And yeah, you can pull a character model into here, and it's pretty much everything is the same after that. Let me just pull this one. Yeah, and you can go up here to Image, and then there's Canvas Size, which does precisely what it did for Pinta that we had before. Cancel that out. Over here you can find, where is it? I get lost sometimes. Oh boy, should have looked this up. Here we go, Magic Wand Tool, excuse me. And with this Magic Wand Tool you can blank out the background images. You can go to Tool Options to adjust. It's not tolerance in GIMP, it's threshold, but it's the same concept. Basically, you can adjust the threshold of the tool, and you can just basically edit out the backgrounds like that. And then you can just go up here to File, and you'll go to Save to save it in its format. The only difference for GIMP is going to be, instead of saving it like to get the picture, you're going to go to Export As, and in Export As, you're going to go and select the PNG format. And you'll go down here if it's not in the PNG format ahead of time, and you'll just hit export to bring it out of the system, put it back in your folder, and then you can just drag it into Roll20. I might make a more specific video for GIMP later, but yeah, that'll be it for making tokens.